So you need to first of all discover what stage that you are in. So there's 3 stages at this. Let me break it down first. Low self-esteem stage, that's the stage 1. Stage 2 is the low confidence. Stage 3 is where you get to a stage where I call conscious mastery. So at stage 1, you have to defeat self-esteem. So there are some people who are all the way down. It's not a confidence issue when it comes to public speaking. It's a self-esteem issue. So what you have to do is that you have to discover everything that makes your self-esteem low, because if your self-esteem is low, you will not be able to speak. There are basically 3 ways by which I believe anybody can deal with a self-esteem issue. I call it the VMA. And then one time, one of them asked me, okay, so fine, we'll bring you on the show, but what do you speak about? And when she asked that question, this is a lady, it just got me thinking, like, but what do I speak about?
Our guest today on the 2nd Street Avenue, Paa Kwesi Folson, has grown in a short period of time to become an expert in this field. Award-winning public speaker with over 20,000 followers on LinkedIn, 40,000 audience reached, over 100 speaking engagements in the last 20 months alone. Paa Kwesi is an extraordinary brand consultant, marketing consultant, an entrepreneur who runs Revolute Limited, an organization that wants to become a pioneer when it comes to marketing and helping businesses grow from one stage to the other. On today's episode of the show, we will find out who he is and how he did this. Stay with me as we delve deeper into today's conversation on the 2nd Street Avenue. But hold on, guys. I need you guys to do me a favor. One thing we've realized from our statistics and data is that you people who watch the conversations that we bring here and learn and get entertained from it are not subscribers to our channel. So I would want you to just hold on, subscribe, comment, share with 5 people in your circle, and tell them about the 2nd Street Avenue, because that is the only way that we can actually grow and become better at what we are trying to do, and also get more people to come on board and share with us what they know and their stories that they've been able to write in their lives as they make progress in their personal journeys. So do that for me, come back and let's delve deeper. Bro, what's good?
Charlie, I do.
So it's good. First of all, what I want to say is that I want to say a very big thank you to Roberta, wherever you, if she's watching this, because she made this happen. One time she just sent me a message that, oh, Rudolph, I think you and Paa Kwesi can do something together. And I was like, oh yeah, why not? Send contact. So initially we wanted to do a strictly audio thing.
Yeah.
It took me some time, but now we are in the studio.
Yeah, shout out Roberta. I call it Arabizi.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So who is this famous Paa Kwesi Folson guy that everybody has been telling me about?
Charlie. Thank you, Rudolph. It's a pleasure to be here again. But anyway, I'll describe myself as an ambitious person who really believes that public speaking can change the world. That's what I believe, that public speaking is a tool by which people can use to change the world. So I use that as my avenue to change people's lives. So I'm a public speaker. I love to say I'm an entrepreneur. Like I'm that person who doesn't. If, for example, if I was broke today, I'm not going to think of why am I going to work. I'm going to think of what business can I start to do something. So I'm just like that instinctive type of entrepreneur. So that's who I am. On the flip side of things, I'm a Chelsea fan. I'll bleed Chelsea. You cut me right now. It's blue blood that you see, but yeah, that's who I am. So essentially, I'm just an ambitious public speaker who wants to change the world, change the minds of people, change the narratives, mold characters, propel destinies. That's essentially who I am. So yeah,
that's deep. No. Okay, I mean, you mentioned on the flip side Chelsea. Yeah, that's a good one, because I was just about to ask you, you people who are into these circles are go-getters. You people are driven. You are always on the road. So I wanted to ask you that if you are not doing these things, then what are you? Like, what are you doing again? So I know, one, you're watching football. That means, I mean, you're a Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with Chelsea fans, because I think, honestly, they are nowhere. They are not a club that we need to compete with, because I'm a Liverpool guy. I think Manchester United is the club that we have something against. Low-key, I'm really scared of what they are going to do next season. I'm scared. And we are not buying even players. So Chelsea there, be any big deal for me. So you're not. I don't see you as an opponent. I don't even see you as an opponent. You think you can win the Premier League next season?
We go win. It's not. We are actually going to win it. Yeah.
Let's get into it.
All right, talk to me.
So I mean, you've been doing this for a short period of time, but you've been able to grow at a tremendous speed.
Yeah.
As a public speaker, what do you think makes one a good one? What makes somebody a good public speaker? Because I mean, let's learn. What makes somebody a good public speaker?
Okay. Well, it really depends on if you are actually going to take public speaking as a profession, as a career, then what makes someone a good public speaker in terms of the skill and as a career are two different things. Because once you want to be a good public speaker in terms of the skill, then it's all about your elocution, all about your body language, all about the technicalities of speaking. But once it comes to taking public speaking as a career, it's not just about the skill. In fact, your skill matters the least. It's really about your understanding of the business of public speaking. You know, public speaking and the business of public speaking are two different things. The business is a whole different ballgame together, and if you understand it, like, it changes everything about you being a public speaker. So for me, for somebody who wants to really be a successful speaker, you have to first of all understand the industry, understand the business of public speaking. You have to understand it in totality, not just one in one facet or one phase of it. You have to understand the business, the industry of public speaking. You have to then also be good at what you do, because your speech is ultimately your product as a public speaker. So if I go somewhere and people hear my talk, that is my product that they've literally heard. So you have to first of all be good, but you need to understand the business of public speaking so you can actually take it as a career, like what I do, because I'm a full-time public speaker here in Ghana.
Okay, great. Yeah. Let's forget about the people who want to make it a full-time career.
Okay.
But let's say I am a regular 9 to 5 guy.
Okay.
I'm in a church community.
Okay.
I have serious stage fright. When I go in front of people, I'm shaking. I'm fumbling everything I have thoroughly prepared to talk about. So to that ordinary person, what are some techniques or what advice can you give to the person to make them a bit more comfortable and be able to deliver their speeches a little bit better in that small space that they find themselves? Maybe you want to do a quick presentation to your boss as a young person, or you want to just pitch an idea to somebody, because literally we are all always selling ourselves.
Yeah.
What can you say in that regard?
Well, not to go into the deep side of everything, because I can really go deep. For those of people who follow me, they know that I can. When it comes to the fear of public speaking, I can disintegrate that into pieces. But let me just make this as simple as much as possible. For anybody, if you are somebody who dreads public speaking, first of all, you need to do this introspection whereby you have to figure out what. So I call something that. I have something that I call the 3 stages of mastering the fear of public speaking, right? There's the stage 1, and the stage 1 are people who have low self-esteem. When you have low self-esteem, that's stage 1. Your fear of public speaking, getting over the fear of public speaking is going to be much harder. So you need to first of all discover what stage that you are in. So there's 3 stages at this. Let me break it down first. Low self-esteem stage, that's the stage 1. Stage 2 is the low confidence. Stage 3 is where you get to a stage where I call unconscious mastery. So at stage 1, you have to defeat self-esteem. So there are some people who are all the way down. It's not a confidence issue when it comes to public speaking. It's a self-esteem issue. So what you have to do is that you have to discover everything that makes your self-esteem low, because if your self-esteem is low, you will not be able to speak. It's not that they've not even reached the stage where they can now decide whether I should be confident or not. It's a self-esteem issue, and it's an underlying issue. Self-esteem issues are so deep-rooted in your mentality, because it's about your image of yourself. Because there are 3 types of self-esteem. There's low self-esteem, something called high self-esteem, something called inflated self-esteem. So inflated self-esteem is almost like a superiority complex, while low self-esteem, on the other hand, is like an inferiority complex. So
when you take the spectrum,
yeah,
one is here and the other is here.
Absolutely, and there's the middle, high self-esteem. That is not superiority and there's no inferiority at the same time.
That's the perfect spot.
That's the perfect spot. Exactly, the perfect spot.
You mentioned inferiority complex. You mentioned self-esteem, and then you mentioned confidence. This is the first time I'm actually getting this, that there's a difference between self-esteem and then self-confidence.
Yeah.
Just a quick one.
Yeah,
What's the difference?
So self-esteem has to do with your image, the image one has of themselves. But confidence is your approach to a particular task. So some people are shy and not confident, but you can actually, let me put it this way. There are some people who are shy when it comes to a particular task, but they have their self-esteem or their image of themselves is very high. But just that when doing a particular task, for example, like public speaking, for example, Elon Musk is not the best communicator in the world, but he has a high self-esteem. His image of himself is so high, but when it comes to a particular task, because he knows that he lacks in that particular skill, he has a little skill deficiency, he doesn't tend to be confident. So self-esteem and confidence are 2 different things. Confidence comes with your knowledge within a particular skill. So if you know that you are good at anything real estate, because you are into real estate, then when it comes to real estate, you are going to be more confident than perhaps me, because I'm not in real estate. But when it comes to public speaking, probably I'm going to be more confident than you are. I don't know, but you're a podcaster too, so you're also good, right? So for somebody else, it's going to be hard. But self-esteem is more about your image you have of yourself. If you have a wrong image of yourself, it totally even destroys your ability to have confidence in anything at all, in any facet of any skill at all, literally. Like, self-esteem is such a limiting thing that anybody should have, and I wish that's why I do what I do. So I help a lot of people to move out of that low self-esteem zone, move them into the high self-esteem zone, help them to think differently about themselves. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's a very good one. So then, how do you build your self-esteem?
Okay, so self-esteem, the way to build self-esteem is that you need to reorient your mentality about yourself. Because what is self-esteem? It is simply the image that one has about themselves. Okay, so there are basically 3 ways by which I believe anybody can deal with the self-esteem issue, and I call it the VMA: visualization, meditation, affirmation. Visualization, meditation, affirmation. Now, visualization is simply you see, a lot of people think visualization is just you. Okay, let me put it that way, right? So first of all, you need to be able to know exactly what you want to look like, right? So if I believe that, or I inherently believe that I'm somebody who people don't like, or I'm not good at things, I'm not smart, I always downplay myself, I'm so deep into my inferiority complex, then it's going to be a challenge for me. But when I can rewire my mentality to have a different image of myself, which is not a lie, but I'm only now convincing myself that I'm really the person that I hope to be. What you're trying to do is that you have to visualize a future you, like a future version of how you want you to look. Because everybody, even how will I even put it? So when I used to deal with self-inferiority, I had a serious inferiority complex, and the way I dealt with it was I now had to visualize who I believe that I could be, or who I actually wanted to be, because everybody who is at one place always wants to be somewhere else. As in, everybody wants to progress in life. So I had to visualize or envisage the future me that I actually wanted. And once I had that picture in my mind, I always kept it going. I kept that mindset going. Then I did meditation. Meditation will involve you going beyond you just having that mental picture. It goes even to the extent of you writing things down. What does the Bible say? It says, have a vision, make it plain. Okay, so writing is not just a mere exercise. School has kind of let us trivialize writing, but writing, God wrote on the 10 commandments. Anyway, it's a discussion for another day. But when it comes to meditation, you have to actually write things down, look at them every time, and all of these things. Then it comes to affirmation. That's a higher level, whereby you now go into telling yourself something, because words are not just a bunch of letters that come out of your mouth. That's what people don't understand. Words are not just a bunch of letters that come out of your mouth. Words are balls of energy. Words have so much power and possibility within them. So if I come to you, Rudolph, and I tell you that, oh, you're not looking nice today, it could change your emotion. It could change your mentality about something. So if words have the power or the ability to make you happy or sad, words have the ability to change your life in completely different ways,
And propel you
to another realm altogether. Don't forget that God created the universe with words, right? So words are a ball of energy. So if you could keep telling yourself something for an extended period of time, it is literally going to change your life.
Okay. You spoke about this is you talking about how to better your self-esteem.
Yeah.
Let me also add this. I think it's a conversation we are having.
Absolutely.
So I think most importantly, you need to know your strengths and your weaknesses.
Yes, 100%.
Recently, I was writing.
Okay.
I was about to take my bath and get to do my regular 9 to 5. And then it actually dawned on me how different and unique we all are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's absolutely insane. Bro, when you take it down on the biological level, each of us, we are made up of a different genetics. That's serious. Like, when you break it down to that level, that's how different we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when you take it on our life experiences and the encounters we have in life, day in and day out, we all see, hear, and do things that's contribute to our personality.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
know your strengths and your weaknesses. Know what you are good at and what you are not. When you know what you are good at, then you hit more on that. When you know
Absolutely.
what you are not, then you learn. You get
Exactly.
better at it.
Yeah.
And that is one way. That's what I have done that has worked for me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you've also shared
Yeah,
some
yeah,
very,
yeah,
very
yeah,
important stuff.
absolutely. Your strengths and your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Taking inventory. I love that. I love that take. What do you also think about confidence too as well?
Confident.
Yeah.
Well, okay, well, at some point in time, I thought confidence was something that was innate, something that came out of us.
Okay.
But recently, maybe for the past 2 or 3 years, I've come to an understanding that confidence is like a curriculum vitae. So you set a goal, you hit it, and it will make you more confident. It comes from the outward inside. So when you say, I want to do A, B, C, D, then you're at point 0. You want to get to point 1.
Yeah.
In between that space, how do you get to point 1? You map it out. When you map it out and you are able to get there, you become much more confident.
Yeah,
You begin
yeah.
to believe in yourself that I am actually capable of doing certain things. Because when you're at point 0, you are doubting yourself. Imposter syndrome is eating you up. You feel like you're not capable. But as you make progress, as you say, I want to go for a run this week, I want to cover this amount of kilometers, you get better. You get better. What has been your biggest failure as a public speaker?
Okay, so I mean, I can give. It depends on the scenario, but for me, I wouldn't necessarily call it a failure, but it's in relation to me being a public speaker as a profession, and it was when I got my first paid gig. I don't even say when I got, because I didn't get it, but when I was about to get it was with one big law firm here in Ghana. And prior to that, there's something called the 300 talk rule in the public speaking industry. What that means is that you have to do at least 300 talks before you can get your first speaking engagement. I mean, your first paid speaking engagement.
300.
Yeah, 300 talk. Yeah. I learned this from a book from Brian Tracy. It's called The Six-Figure Speaker. So, and it's been like as a talk around the industry. And I heard it from a lot of people in the speaking industry here in Ghana. They're like, oh, you have to do 250, 300 talks and everything. But then I was like, nah, that's too long. I have to find a way to short circuit everything. So that's a conversation for another day. How I short circuited everything. So essentially, I was 6 months into my public speaking career. I mean, now I've done over 100 speaking engagements within the past 20 months alone. But this was 6 months.
100 speaking engagements in the last 20 months.
Yeah, last 20 months
That's
alone.
incredible.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
That's crazy. I don't think I've heard of those numbers myself.
You are working really hard.
Thank you. It's by God's grace, really.
You are working really hard.
But so now this is 6 months into my public speaking career, and then I get this gig from a law firm, right? And then they're like, oh, they want somebody to do some training for something, and I'm like, oh yeah, and they thought of me, and I was the one right person, all of that, and they're ready and everything, and they want me to do the thing, and at the time I was like, my God, this is so crazy. Like, I couldn't believe all that was happening. Like, it was happening in such a short period of time that I was like, this is crazy. Like, the grace was too much. So I was like, this is serious. So they asked me that how much was I going to charge at the time, and I felt like I was too new in the game. That taught me a lot. I would say that was my biggest, because I missed an opportunity to have a lot of money earlier in my public speaking career just by missing that. Like, it literally, like, to this day is one of my, I can say it's a regret for me not to have taken that. However, I learned a lesson from that no matter what, you should always learn to, what's the word I want to use? I want to use this correct word, but you should always learn to properly value yourself at every point in time.
But were you that valuable at then?
I was. I just didn't realize it as much as possible.
You didn't have a reputation, you didn't have a credibility. So what?
No, I had a reputation. I was 6 months into my public speaking career. I had done a lot of talks at that time.
And genuinely speaking, you thought you were worth that amount of money?
Yes, absolutely. It's not about how long you've been in the game. It's never, when it comes to work, it's never about quantity. It's about the quality of experience. For example, if I had a company, right? I was an IT company, and I brought somebody from an IT company in East Legon. I had two people who had shown interest in my job role, and I had a company, right? And somebody came and he said, oh, he's had 10 years working in some company at East Legon, And then somebody comes and says, "Oh, I've worked 2 years at Microsoft. Who will I pick? I'll pick the person from Microsoft."
Definitely.
Absolutely, because the quality of the experience.
Yes.
What I did was that I short-circuited my way to success. What I did was that I learned from the people who had done it. I took up free gigs before to do and had exponential results for a lot of people. I had done so many things within a short period of time that within that period of time, it was like, if you ask me this, you ask me that, I have so many results under my belt, so many wins under my belt, that at that time I could have done that. And I should have done that gig at that point in time, because that was actually, that doing that gig is actually also a win under my belt if I had done it. You know, Richard Branson was saying something that if you don't know how to do something, tell them that you know how to do it. Go and learn how to do it and come and do it. Sometimes
if you don't know how to do something, tell them you know how to do it.
Yes. So even if I didn't know how to do whatever I was called to do, but the gig of, obviously the reason why they even thought of me was because I was one of the best people inside that.
Exactly, because you presented something that they found out you could actually live up to expectation.
But I just didn't value myself. I mentioned a low price. So this is how I ended. I mentioned a low price. They told me they'll get back to me, and they never got back to me because I mentioned the price that I mentioned was completely off the charts. They didn't think that there was going to be enough value for whatever was going to happen. So that's when I learned that I have to correctly value myself. I need to correctly price myself. It was all part of the branding, and I didn't understand that at that point in time. So that was a big failure for me at the time.
So in one sentence, what did that experience teach you?
I was about to say value the type of value that I bring to the table, but value what I bring to the table. Like I really didn't, like, I knew that I was gifted, but I didn't really attach a certain level of value to it to see that it was something that people needed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that as Ghanaians, or the community in which we find ourselves, people relate expensive or exorbitancy to quality? Do you think that when somebody sees something that is expensive, they automatically, you're a marketer too, they automatically think it's quality?
From everything to anything, like, price speaks a lot of the type of quality that is provided. Because if you are the best, you don't expect to be the cheapest. And if you are the cheapest, nobody will expect you to be the best.
You know, let me just chip this in. So together with the team, we are trying to put together an event.
Okay.
And in one of our meetings, the team suggested that we do it for free. That's why I'm asking you this question.
Okay.
So when they see this episode, then they will know what to say. Because honestly speaking, I think that when we wanted to put this together, I went to look up at something from Homoji, Alex
Homoji, yeah.
And Homoji was talking about how you should beat competition by pricing yourself at a particular level.
Yeah.
And when people come and ask you your price and you mention a particular price, you know truly within yourself if you can deliver or not.
Yeah.
If you cannot, then you find ways and means to deliver. And when in that process of finding the ways and means to live up to the expectation that you've given to yourself, that's how you become better. That's one way. That's a hack that you can use to actually grow at a very rapid speed.
Okay.
You tell somebody that you are worth 500,000 Ghana cedis. You know within your heart that you can't do it. But then when you sign the contract and you sign the deal, it begins to haunt you. When you are sleeping, you can't sleep because you've told somebody that you are worth this amount of money, and you know within your heart that you are not. So that moment, if you're a very sensible human being, what do? You reach out to your mandems, you reach out to your niggas. I have this, I need help. How do I make this better? Then you start gathering resources. So maybe something that you were supposed to take 6 months to learn, because you signed a contract that is holding you up to a particular standard, you learn it in 2 months.
Yeah, for sure.
So in a space of 2 months, you've grown from being a 10,000 Ghana cedi guy to like 100,000 Ghana cedi guy. Something that you were supposed to like do it in 6 months. And that is, I think, one way you can actually cut the circuit shorter
short.
to success.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. All right, let's get a bit practical.
Okay.
Because you have done a lot of consultations.
Okay.
Please, you're on the show. Give these people some free consultation. So, for instance, you are really good at, I know you don't do this anymore, when it comes to LinkedIn and then helping people to boost their numbers.
Okay.
But when somebody wants a one-on-one coaching with you, they can get it.
Yeah.
Yes, great. A young Ghanaian boy from the University of Ghana. No, forget about University of Ghana. From the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology comes.
Yes,
and
it's
then-
Central University.
Okay, comes to you, and they want to elevate their brand and leverage social media to become better and to boost their career. How would you go about it, and what advice would you give to that person? Take us through that.
Okay, so, well, it depends. First of all, you need to clarify what you actually want to achieve. Okay, so many people don't know what they want to achieve on social media. For me, and as much as I'm good on social media, I don't think I'm a social media person. I don't even like to use my phone.
You see it as a tool.
Yeah, I see it as a tool for work. Exactly. So the reason why I even decided to build my brand on LinkedIn and everything was that I had a particular goal that I wanted to achieve, and that was only because. And let me just say this story quickly. Prior to me being a public speaker and being all of this, when I wanted to actually venture into public speaking, I made a list of all the event organizers, and I said I was going to text each and every one of them and get them to put me on their shows, and they all declined me and they rejected me. So I can even say that's even one of my biggest failures, because I just started off on a note. Like, I was so ambitious, I wanted to just start everything.
How many?
I don't know, countless. I did so many. I did so many, and then one time, one of them asked me, "Okay, so fine, we'll bring you on the show, but what do you speak about?" And when she asked that question, this was a lady. It just got me thinking. Like, I realized that I knew that I could speak. I knew that I had great elocution. I was so eloquent. I could do this and this and that. But what do I speak about? What do I have results in? It just made me really think about everything, and I realized that, God damn, I have to do something different. Like, I really have to think about everything, think about my results, think about so many things. And it just put me back to the drawing board. I deleted Instagram, deleted everything, reorganized myself, pushed myself into a whole different zone, learned how to brand myself as a speaker and everything. That's how I launched on LinkedIn. So I came on LinkedIn knowing that I wanted to be a speaker. I wanted to be somebody who was speaking all over the place. So I just didn't just come on LinkedIn without a particular goal. So that's the first thing. First of all, you need to have a goal. I know that it probably might sound cliche, but you need to have a goal. Like, it's the one thing that you need. It's about having a vision.
I think, what do you want to get out of LinkedIn?
Absolutely. Or anything in life.
Or any other social media.
Exactly. Or anything in life. Not even just limited to social media. Anything that you need.
Life in itself.
Life in itself.
What do you want out of it?
Exactly. Because life in itself is about vision. Okay, so the scope of your vision, or the scope of your success, is dependent on the scope of your vision. So if your success is small, it's because your vision was
You really
small.
did give me the public speaking
Oh,
vibes.
come on. So you really need to have the vision. You need to have the goal. Not only that, should you have it, you should also be conscious of it. Okay, the word conscious comes from the Latin word known as concere. All right, and that word means to be mutually known. Mutually known means that two people, more than one person. But if you're talking about yourself, one individual person, it means that your spirit, your soul, your body should be so aware of a particular vision that you're always compelled and you're always on your seat to do whatever you have to do. So you're supposed to be conscious of your vision, because the totality of your reality is a product of your consciousness.
Okay, so after you know your goal.
Yes. So let me. I'm moving. So after you know your goal, you're conscious of it. After you're conscious of it, what you need to do is that you need to find out who has done what, and then start following them on the platform. So what I did was that when I came on LinkedIn, I started doing something I call ecosystem mapping, and that's what I use for any social media app. So I came after I left Instagram, I came back on Instagram and I started looking for people who were doing the stuff that I was doing, and I found out what they were doing, how they were doing, going about the stuff, and I started doing the same things, and I saw that my audience was growing. LinkedIn was the same thing, and I'm moving on to any other platform that I move on to, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube, whether it's whatever. I'll do ecosystem mapping. Is looking at who has results in something, mimicking certain things that they are doing, especially do it in my own way, but mimic their certain patterns. Look at the patterns, like they do something, there's something, maybe are they consistent? Do they post on a particular day? Are they posting at a particular time? Are they doing something a particular way? Where are they directing their traffic source from? When they post a video, where are they sharing? Like, get to understand the stuff, okay? So once you understand that, then you're good to go. Then that's where you come into the real strategies for LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, if you want to grow, what you have to do is that, first of all, you need to optimize your profile. So you just need to get your profile straight. Get a good picture, write a lot about yourself, because LinkedIn operates on bio data. So what you put on your page ultimately, when somebody's searching for you for a job opportunity, for a gig, what you put on your page is actually going to reflect what, for example, on Instagram, if I just type public speaker, I may not necessarily get the particular person I'm looking for, because it doesn't pick necessarily from your bio. Maybe it will pick from your username or something. But on LinkedIn, it can literally pick, like, it can pick bio data from my skill section, from your about, something called an about section, a summary where you write about yourself and all of that. So like it could literally pick from all those different angles. So it's so important to optimize your profile. Then that's just the beginning part of it. Next thing, that you need to start sharing content. Call it the 2E2I formula. So it's educate, enlighten, involve, inspire. Involve is like you're involving them in your life. Maybe you got a new job, you let them know. Maybe you just talked to this new great person, you let them know. Maybe you just went to this party, you let them know. Maybe you, like, feel free, like, involve them in your life. Like, that's what it means, involve them in your life. So essentially just that.
Great. That's a very good one.
Yeah.
It's a good place to start from.
Absolutely.
If you are new on the platform.
Absolutely.
It's a good place to start from. I think what I'm going to pick from what you just said is the ecosystem mapping thing.
Yes.
We are trying to do something. We are
Okay.
trying to build a community.
Okay.
We are trying to bring people to share stories,
All right.
life lessons, insightful stuff. And we are not the first people to want to do this under the sun.
Absolutely.
There's somebody who has done this that we can actually look up to and try to not copy them, because, as I said, we are all different. We are
Yeah.
absolutely unique. But then pick what they have done,
Yeah.
merge it with ours, and then see how we can make it better.
Absolutely. 100%.
So I think that's something I'm going
that's
to
something,
pick. That's something I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
We will do that. When people come on the Second Street Avenue,
Okay.
I ask them rapid fire questions. They are not rapid because you have to answer them so quickly.
Okay.
But then those are questions that I think it cuts a bit deep.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you a couple of them. The first one is, what's a hill you are ready to die on?
What's a what?
A hill you are ready to die on. What's an idea or belief,
I get.
yes, that you think when you put it out, people are going to come for you, but you're going to stick to it regardless?
I'll say entrepreneurship is truly the way out of financial freedom.
You don't think somebody can do a 9 to 5? What if I'm working with
There's a difference between financial
freedom
and independent. Financial freedom is when you have the time as a part of it.
I'm so big on that. When a job is taking too much of my time,
so a lot of people who are working 9 to 5, they have, like, I know a lot of rich 9 to 5 people. In fact, way more than these so-called entrepreneurs, right? Entrepreneurship, sorry, is the way there. So yeah, absolutely.
I mean, when you people, I don't want to say, when I say you people, the people who are on the go, who are doing the great stuff, who are doing the extraordinary stuff. The reason why when I was talking to you about this whole meetup, I said, let's get it a little bit casual.
Yeah.
Because
he said, let me say, do not work after a beg. Make it work after. Is that I beg, make it work after.
Yes, because I know you could wear a kaftan and a suit or something. I don't want that. I want us to make this as casual as we can be. People need to see that side of you. People need to know that you people are also regular human beings. You understand? The big people they see on TV have a regular life. Good. One thing I want to find out is, what is something that you worry about often?
Something I worry about often. The Bible says what?
I don't know.
Be anxious for nothing.
But
in other words, don't worry about anything.
This is the public speaking shenanigan. I mean, we all have something deep that we are worried about. What are you worried about?
I don't think I'm worried about anything. I don't think so, because I do think about some things, but I never worry. There's a difference between worrying about something and thinking about something.
That's what. Okay, so what do you think about?
What do I think about? I don't know. I think of how can we take Africa to its next frontier. Really, it's something that is really on my heart. On how we can literally take Africa to its next frontier. Like, it breaks my heart when I just go around and seeing Africans earning less than we deserve, especially when sometimes, or a lot of times, we are more skilled than a lot of people out there. We can do.
There's one thing that
and I think about.
I am worried about is, I worry if my dreams will come true. I mean, this year has been an eye opener when it comes to my relationship with God, in that aspect that I need not to be anxious about a lot of things, because from the beginning of the year, I'm really scared that some of my dreams
Yeah.
will not come true.
Why are you scared?
Because I feel like there are days I'm questioning myself. Am I doing the right things?
Yeah.
Am I making the right choices? Am I heading towards the right place?
Yeah.
And it scares me a lot.
Yeah.
I won't lie to you. But then, within that period of time, I have also come to understand that I don't want to say, but Jeremiah 29:11.
Okay.
That before I was conceived in my mother's womb, God had a plan for me. And then it takes me to Isaiah 46.
Yeah.
That God says He will carry me and He will save me even into my old age. Those two things have been. Last year, my uncle's scripture was when Erastus was on the show. If you've not watched our episode with Erastus, who is a gospel content dancer, you can go check it out.
Okay.
I spoke to him about last year. My scripture was, "The vision is yet for an appointed time. Write it down."
Yeah.
Habakkuk.
Yeah, Habakkuk.
But this year, throughout this period, I have also come to understand that, like, God says He will take care of me, so I don't have to worry about it so much, because it was sometimes it was giving me sleepless nights. I am legit scared when it comes to my dreams, the things I want to do. Can I do them? Will it work? Because the beginning of things really do not matter.
Yeah.
It's the end.
Yeah. For sure.
It doesn't matter. Like, you can start left, right, center, hitting hard, but how long can you do this?
Yeah.
How consistent can you be? So during that time, I have just learned to put my burdens on God now. Like, I don't want to sound too spiritual. I'm not even that kind of guy, but this is my experience in this few months.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm sharing about when it comes to worrying about things. So that's the answer to what I am scared of. What's you said you read a lot. 3 books you've read, rapid fire questions.
3 books I've read.
Or 3 of your top 3 top books.
Exactly. Okay, so I'll start with one that radically changed everything for me. Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert T. Kiyosaki. That book changed everything fundamentally about how I thought about money, how I thought about business, how I thought about going about my life. Like, if you read that book consciously, anybody who reads that book consciously, I'm not sure, like, you might just quit your job. So be careful of that book anyway. But yeah, so Cash Flow Quadrant. Second book that I like is called Multiple Streams of Internet Income. It's by one guy called Robert G. Allen. And that book was written in 2001. The book was written in 2001. However, the concepts in the book, the ideas of the book are still relevant to this day. That's how crazy it is. So I really love that book because of how timeless it is, the type of ideas that it gives to another person. So that's the second book that I would say. The third book that I will mention, and like, there are so many books in my mind right now, but one thing that really impacted my work, especially as a business growth strategist and public speaker doing what I do, is a book called .com Secrets by Russell Brunson. So that book is not from this world, right? It's crazy, and it's for crazy entrepreneurs like me who like to think about ideas, just run with them, go with them, not scared to fail, but you just want to figure out a way how you can bootstrap and work your way to success. That's what that book is about. .com Secrets. It's about how to make money on the internet, but like building an actual business using the internet. So yeah, that's about it. So the 3 books I mentioned.
Fantastic. I need to check the third one out. The .com Secrets.
Yeah, .com Secrets.
All right. Thank you for sharing these things with me.
Sure.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this. Sincerely grateful. We could go deeper and deeper and deeper. So maybe you might come on board for another episode. We'll call that we'll title that maybe part 2 or something, because you have a lot of things that you can share with us.
For sure.
So absolutely thankful for showing up on the Second Street Avenue. What do I have to say? Do you have any questions for me? Or if you were in my seat, what would you do?
I don't know, but I don't have a question, but I just want to say, just keep on going.
All right.
Yeah, just like really keep pushing, because like your dreams are so valid. Yeah, the fact that you decided to be on this route alone shows a lot, because it's not so many people have dreams, but it takes an amount of faith to start something continue getting going. And I like the way you're radical, so just keep pushing, bro.
All right, we'll do that. Thank
Keep
you so
going,
much.
bro.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
So.